Welcome back. Thanks for staying with Afternoon Express here on S3. It's Christmas time, yes. And a Christmas table is never complete without our favorite roasts. But cooking large cuts of meat, we know that it can be so complicated, so tricky. And today, Chef Chart is going to show us how to make a mouth-watering leg of lamb simply using garlic and rosemary. I mean, it sounds like, no, come on, there must be more, surely.
Well,
there's got to be more.
Simplicity is sometimes the key to the ultimate success. And
I love
that's
that you
what
say
you want
that.
to do. So, you know, we always have so many other bits and pieces. There's the potatoes, there's the veg, there's the salads, there's, oh my goodness, you know, you go for the cranberry stuff, you've got the apple sauce, you've got whatever else. What else goes on your table?
It's a lot, Chef. It's a lot.
It's so much.
Well, you've got Chad going,
Every time you say something, I'm just like...
Yeah. So we have so much going on. So actually really important to pare things back. And hey, we live in the Cape where we have beautiful little lammies that, you know, run around in the karoo.
Yeah.
We want to taste the meat and enjoy the meat. So
I love you say
keep it
that,
simple.
because we do want to taste it, Chad.
Okay.
And this was prepared for you a bit earlier. As we start the recipe, let's get into it, because you did say there was a very simple and less complicated one.
Absolutely. So what we're going to hear is our full leg of lamb. This is shank on, all right? So sometimes you'll see it cut off at that point, which we then call a square cut of lamb. Okay. So this is with the full shank on, which is all great. So what we need to do is take a knife and just very carefully and safely pierce a couple of large slits into the muscle of the meat.
This is a masterclass, Chad, and I hope you're taking notes.
I am.
Dumi, you are impressed already with just how he's cutting it.
Friend, I have to be honest, I'm impressed that I'm the rose among the thorns here.
Queen, come through.
That's all that she's talking about, you know. Right, so what you want to do is take garlic and some rosemary and just stud your lamb like that. I've got some really big cloves. You can cut them in half. It's entirely up to you. But just literally go through and just put all that together and shove that in.
While you're busy with that, because you've chosen to use a harder herb, which is a rosemary there. And yes, we're going to be having a dressing that we're going to make that uses, you know, softer herbs like your mint and your coriander. Would we be able to do exactly what you're doing with softer herbs like your corianders and your mints, or should we stick to harder herbs?
No, stick to your harder herbs. So rosemary, thyme works really well. Sage can even work well. I mean, sage and pork are best friends. But with your hard, this is you know, we roast in the oven. It's robust, it's hard, it's heavy, and this has got lots of flavor. It needs to take those flavor. Yeah. What's going to happen is, you know, you use things like parsley and mint and basil and things. It's going to leach and actually, you know, sort of taint your meat and become sort of quite brown in one form or another.
You don't want that. No. But Chad, are you very handy in the kitchen, especially when it comes to this sort of thing? Because this does take some level of skill.
Yes, it does.
Hey?
I do my best.
What is your best?
I do my best. I mean, I've never made an entire lamb shank like this. I think once in my life I've made a lamb shank. But just standing next to the chef here and just admiring just his work, it obviously wasn't at this level. But apparently it was decent.
Do you have a favorite sort of herb?
I mean, I think when I think of a herb, I think of the combinations. So, for example, rosemary, garlic, olive oil. Coriander is a strong herb in my household. It's very serious coriander in the household, so we use it for a lot of things. But I'd go with those two, rosemary and coriander.
You keep it simple.
Now, Chef, you've done the first part, which is to show us how to make the leg of lamb. And that's great because you've put so much flavor into the actual leg itself through the garlic and the rosemary. But obviously, we do also like having finishing touches to it. And this is what we've chosen to do here.
What is that?
So in some cases, we could call it a gremolata, but we're just calling it somewhat of a dressing that you could put on your lamb pieces once you've cut it off, and you perhaps just either want additional moisture to the meat, or you just want additional punch of flavor. You know, sometimes the issue with cooking large pieces of meat is that you end up finding that the outside has the flavor, but the center lacks that flavor. And this is where dressings like this and sauces like this actually help and aid in at least carrying forward that flavor punch that you want.
I'm going to be using that word, gremolata.
Gremolata.
Sorry, guys, come to the house for a gremolata. Okay.
Well, not just a gremolata, something with a gremolata.
With other things.
Also, something, you know, very important planning at Christmas. You know, we don't all have lots of ovens, usually one oven. And I see people going crazy and, you know, trying to do everything out of one oven, and the meat's coming out and so on and so forth.
Is that supposed to be happening?
It's a happy pan, snap, crackle, land.
Okay.
There we go.
It's like getting worried here.
So you've all got one oven. So think of doing some things on the top, some things in the oven as well to balance things out.
Okay,
which is really important. Time-wise. But remember, this is going to be roasting. So this, again, at 180 degrees in the oven. So time-wise, what are you looking at? About sort of 25 minutes per 500 grams. So always weigh your leg and then add about sort of 15, 20 minutes on top of that there as well. So if it's sort of a 2 kilo leg of lamb there, you got 2 by 50-minute slots, plus 15 minutes, and take it out, and then allow that to rest for about 15 minutes
before serving.
Slicing it and serving. So you've got then time to use the oven, even half an hour. Why? Because you can allow that muscle to rest and relax. You're going to have a lovely sauce that's going to go on top of it, or even a hot sauce on top of that as well, and then carving away.
And another tip, Chef, now that you've mentioned that, because you've spoken about the different cooking times, another thing is, if you've got different things that cook at certain times...
Fire extinguisher, where is it? Are you sure this is meant to be happening?
Relax. If it's happy, snappy, crackly, poppy, then it's good.
Okay.
So basically, items that, in essence, cook the same amount of time. So if there's a leg of lamb and there's something else that takes 2 hours to cook, take the things that take the same amount of time to cook together, put them in the oven, versus taking a leg of lamb and potatoes and you're going to keep opening and closing. That opening and closing also drops the temperature.
Practical tips.
That's very practical tip, because that keep opening, you're losing the temperature all the time.
And flavors compromised somewhere there as well. Ched, I know that one of your plans for 2023 is definitely going to be spending more time making dishes and meals like this.
I might just try and get to this before the end of the year, meaning for Christmas,
This is really beautiful. I love your work. Chart, wonderful. Crema Lata, thank you so much, Dumi. Ched, I'm coming to your house very soon. Get the recipe on afternoonexpress.co.za. This is an experience, and you're going to love it.